Welcome to On White Horses broadcast. Your life is valuable and has purpose. It's our heart's desire that you know how valuable every day is. So take 15 minutes with us and be encouraged. We have a lot to talk about.
Life is worth living, and it comes down to the choices you make every day. Because every choice you make in this life has consequences. Have you forgotten what it's like to live as a teenager? And you struggle with choices? Like who likes you? Who's your friend? Who stabbed you in the back? Those are the beginning of choices that you make that have consequences that last the rest of your life. And that's how you build your social skills and how you're going to handle pressure. And then it influences you in the way you see yourself. And some people have a family. They have a mom and a dad and brothers and sisters. Just last night, my kids were roping in our outdoor arena. And it was fun listening to them because they'll argue and bicker about things that really don't matter. They'll encourage each other and be positive one run and run the steers and say, "Good job, that was a great run." And then the next run, "Boy, that was really bad. That you did horrible." And you're thinking, how in the world can they talk both extremes in less than 3 team roping runs? But I realize that they are actually molding the way they want to communicate the rest of their lives by the choices of the words that come out of their mouth. So I've been thinking about that. And I wanted to share with you guys and see how your choices have been treating you. We get older. Teenagers grow up. Then you choose who you're going to date. Then you choose how you're going to handle who you're dating or whether you're going to ditch them and find a different one. I hope you find some of this humorous because it brings back memories in your head. But I want you to know that God has been with you the whole time and that your choices dictate your future in your life and this trail that you're hiking, your steps, and you've either done them by what you think's right or what someone else thinks right. Sometimes good parents really influence their children, and it really works out, and they make choices that have better results in their life. Some people don't have parents. I said all that to say this, that you have a God that loves you and knows the depths of your heart better than you know it yourself. You do. If you're listening to my voice right now, this is an opportunity for you to acknowledge God and ask Him for help. I believe in the power of prayer. I believe that you can say, "God, please help me steward my choices." The book of James, chapter 1, says that you can have wisdom. If you ask God, He gives to all men liberally. In other words, if you ask Him, He'll give it to you. No different than my youngest boy. If he asks for a drink, I'll go right over to the fridge and give him one. Because I taught him at a young age that you can't just go in the fridge at 3 or 4 years old and get out whatever you want, pop open a can of soda, drink half of it and leave it laying around, and go get another can of soda and pop it open and drink half a can and leave it laying around. Pretty soon there'll be wasted money and cans all over the house, and then Mama would have to come behind and clean it up. That's an illustration of the simplicity of choices, that we make choices that we don't even know, and sometimes they end up leaving a mess on where we've been, what room we've been living in. What do you mean, Travis? What room? I mean job, relationship, marriage, family members. However God is showing you or bringing back to your memory the choices that have influenced you to try to live in a box and you feel trapped, and now that you're older, you're still stuck in that box. I wanted to give you hope today. As parents, I would teach my son, "Son, if you need a drink, that's no problem. Ask me. Ask me for a drink. I'll get you what you want." And he'd say, "Juice. Juice." He loved orange juice. So then I'd go get him out a little deal of orange juice. And I would say, "Now please finish this before you go to another one." "Okay, Daddy." Did he? Not very often. But see, that's what parents do. Parents really teach their kids We're really coaching them. I think a lot of parents now want to be best friends to their kids, and they're really not helping them through life. Now, little Wade, he was young, and it's a good analogy because he learned. He learned that if I need a drink, I can have one anytime I want, but I have to go ask Mama, and then Mama would get him one. But it helped keep the house clean. It helped teach him discipline, and it helped teach him those things. Now, this is a real simple analogy, but my wife was raised really well with really good organized parents. And so it came natural to her to show the kids that they have boundaries and they can do whatever they want if they stay in those boundaries. And they really, really got what they wanted. Well, I realized as I've got older and I've raised 3 kids now, is that boundaries is what causes children to mature and to enjoy life and realize that they're safe. And as Wade got older, being parents, not best friends, but life coaches, to teach from our mistakes, I'm referring to me and Jennifer, teaching our children based on our mistakes that they can not make those same mistakes and that they can go and do what they're good at. But it took us parenting to tell them that. And if they believed in something that I couldn't see, I let them try it. Go ahead, try. You want to be a baseball player? Go be a baseball player. Go enjoy yourself. And I'll never forget, 2 or 3 years later, my older boy, Bryce, came back and goes, Dad, I'm not very good at baseball. I said, it's okay. I enjoyed watching you. That's what parenting does. Parenting makes sure they stay safe and they don't hurt themselves. But I don't keep them from doing mistakes. I let them learn from their mistakes. But the goal was that they would learn that there's consequences from their choices. That every choice has value. And some of them have big consequences and some of them have small ones. But it's really our choices that dictate our value. And if I started at a young age with my children, hopefully they'll be productive citizens of society and they'll make choices that they're actually planning on. I just had a conversation with my son last week. I said, son, do you know that someday you'll be my age? And he looked at me and goes, what planet are you on? I said, look, our culture is so blessed. The United States of America is so blessed that you can have anything you want right now at the touch of your fingers and however much money you have. And I don't want you thinking like that. I want you to realize that there are different seasons in life and that you might need more money or that you might need to save your money, or maybe you won't even make enough money to save money. But you can still make choices that can make the ages of 28, 48, 58 peaceful. I didn't say rich. I said peaceful. I have met a lot of really wealthy people in my life, and they've made really, really good choices in the natural, but they still didn't have peace. You can't buy peace. You can't buy joy. You can take your money and buy happiness. You can go to Disneyland. You can go to a theme park. You can go to a play. You can do a lot of things with money. And you can be happy for that day, but when the money runs out, your happiness is gone. But joy is something that's eternal. And it brings peace to your mind and your heart. Now, you may not like me talking like this, but those words are in the Bible. And even people walking down the road, or you go hang out at the mall, or you get together with a bunch of family and friends, they don't even talk like that anymore. But the choices that you make can still change the peace that's in your heart. And you can influence your family and your friends by being joyful and having peace. How do you do that, Travis? I'll tell you. You use your mouth and are thankful for the things that you have. I am so thankful for the friends that God's given me. I'm so thankful for my spouse, Jennifer. I'm thankful for my children that I have. How am I thankful? I use my mouth and I say, Lord, thank you for what I have. I don't complain about what I don't have. I don't pray and ask him for a bunch of things that I need. I want to be thankful for where I'm standing. Do you know that God has a plan for your life? And it's not based on what's going on around you on the outside, like your pocketbook, your job, your car, your house, where you live. It's really not those things. Although in America, we think like that. We think like that because we have opportunity. But when I went to a third world country the first time and visited, it changed my life forever. Because the happiest people I met in my life were the ones that lived in extreme poverty. If you've never experienced that, man, I encourage anybody to experience it. Because I could see their heart was full of joy and peace and hope. They chose to believe in God. It didn't cost them anything. They put their hope in God. But when I looked around in the natural, they had nothing. And when I say they had nothing, they didn't even have enough clothes to cover their body. They had no shoes. But what they did have is hope, faith, and love. And that only comes from God. And God is your creator. God knows the depths of your heart better than you know yourself. Did you hear what I said? God knows what will really give you joy. And sometimes we chase happiness thinking it will stick around, but it won't. The joy of the Lord is our true strength. And just like if you have kids like I do, nothing makes me more happy than when my kids come give me a hug and say, I love you. That is more valuable than all my money, all my stuff, and everything I own. When they say, I love you. And I'll never, ever forget. I know I wasn't the best parent with my oldest kid, and I was a little bit better parent with my second kid, but my third kid, I was a way better parent because I didn't sweat the little things, and I've invested in the things that are long term. But I didn't know. But God knows. It really is love that covers a multitude of sins. Or let's put it in modern terms. Love covers a multitude of mistakes. And my oldest daughter loves me dearly. And I love her too. And my kids are all the same way. Parenting, they don't need a best friend. They need a life coach, leadership, guidance, boundaries put on them. No different than God has done for us. He's met us where we're at and where we're living our life. And when we call on his name, he is there immediately. But it starts on whether we really believe on how we treat our friends and our family members and what comes out of our mouth. Is it full of joy? Are we thankful? Because that's actually what controls your emotions. Your circumstances in our country is dictating to you and how your day and how you feel and how your day's going and what's going on in your life. And I want to point you back to center, which is God. He knows where your value's at. He knows what fulfills you, and he knows exactly who you are in him. But you have to make the choice.
Well, we thank you for joining us today. Because of Operation Blessing and Kingdom Coalition partnering with On White Horses, we have the ability to give free food. It is available every fourth Tuesday of each month. We partner with volunteers and local churches coming together to give food and drink away with no strings attached. Our purpose is to show how valuable you are to God. If you are out or short of food or even struggling to make ends meet, come let us help you or your family at White Horse Arena. You can find more information at onwhitehorses.org or on Facebook at On White Horses. Once again, you can find us at onwhitehorses.org or simply send your contribution to P.O. Box 5, Boley, Oklahoma 74829. Thank you so much for spending time with us today, and remember, you are valuable to God, and God wants to walk with you. He loves you, and he's waiting for you to love him back. And the Holy Spirit will meet you right where you're at in life and help you through all things. We will talk to you soon.